have been dying to tell for weeks now. I couldn't because I had to wait until the situation was over with. It was a long process to get the situation done with. So now that it's over with, I can talk about it. This whole experience just felt like a movie, but hey, it has a happy ending. I'm going to explain where it all started from day one. Recently, we've had this new neighbor move in with his stepson. Ever since he's moved in, he's been a weirdo, been giving us problems. It started slowly. It got to a worse, almost violent situation. What made it get serious was the threats and the harassment. I start from my point of view. This is what I told the judge in court. This happened on June 12th during the week. It was in the afternoon. I was in my room, minding my own business, listening to music. Like, everyone's minding their own business, okay? Out of nowhere, I hear shouting outside from my window. First, I didn't really think anything of it because my grandparents are a married couple. They argue sometimes. But then I realized that it wasn't even my grandfather's voice. He wasn't even talking. I look outside my window and it's our neighbor yelling at my grandparents for no reason. This is the part that got me right here. He starts being racist. He made racist comments about the color of his skin. If you guys have seen a picture of my grandfather, you know he's like copper toned brown skin, you know, that native brown color.
Seriously, ancestors have been through enough and you gotta keep it going.
My grandfather does not respond. He gives them that glare,
Or your resting face.
that's what we call it. My grandfather always goes for walks around our neighborhood. His doctor told him to, that he needs to take walks. I'm hearing what he's yelling. Nonsense. But my grandfather says nothing. He's just like looking at his crazy ass going off. Then it gets worse. It escalates. Then I see him take a couple steps forward.
Wait, what's going on?
And he holds his fists up in the air, trying to be all tough.
It's like, come on, you wanna fight? You wanna fight? Let's fight, blah, blah.
At that point, I get scared. It's one thing you talking shit to my family, but if you're trying to get physical,
Oh, hell no.
after I saw that, I ran to the front door. My grandma's trying to get my grandpa back in the house. This guy was crazy. Like, he was trying to start shit for no reason at all.
He's on something. Got dropped when he was a baby. I don't know.
My grandma's already standing there with the door open.
She's like, come inside. Don't listen to him.
I'm just standing there like ready to jump outside.
Defend him, you know, cause like, don't try to put hands on my family. What's wrong with you? I have my taser ready. I do not play around. The granddaughter's taking over, bitches. Don't try me, cause I will use it.
He walks back inside, calmly, unbothered.
We don't got time for these pilgrims, okay?
He walks back in, unharmed. Before he slams the door, y'all guess what I did? I yell out.
Fat ass Donald Trump.
Then I close the door and then he goes and slams. I don't know what he said after that, but he slammed the door. That was it.
I'm glad that he didn't lay his hands on my grandfather, or else granddaughter would be coming to the rescue.
Can't even walk around the neighborhood in peace. After that happened, we're all just shook.
Wait, did that really just happen?
My grandma got really scared. I had to call the police, a whole bunch of cops, and a whole squad, like 5 cops. A cop walks over to our door. We explained what happened. They're like, okay, we'll handle it, it's okay. Walked over to his front door. They have a long conversation with him. I couldn't really hear what they were saying. All I heard was they're gonna give him options. I don't even think he's paying rent. A bum.
He ain't shit, he trash.
We were hoping that he would get kicked out. Still to this day, we're hoping that he moves out or gets kicked out or something.
I don't need a racist Trump supporter that acts like a 13-year-old.
We've never had issues with neighbors before until this psycho came in. The cop comes back to our door. They tell us that if he gets physical with us or comes to our door, tries anything else, to call them back. We were hoping that he was gonna get arrested, but he did not. That didn't fix anything. When my mom gets home, we all have a little family meeting. This was a serious situation. She goes to file a restraining order against his dumbass. That helped a lot. You can't speak to the person. You can't come near them. Can't have any contact. Later on, there was a court date. I did not go to the first one. It was just my grandmother and my uncle, but since my uncle wasn't a witness, he was not allowed to speak. It's my grandmother versus The bum-ass. This is what she had told me when she got home. Dumbass Trump was not prepared. He did hire a lawyer. First of all, if you have a court date, you have to be prepared. The trial was very short. Since the defendant was not prepared, there wasn't really much to discuss. Judge had set a second court date. That's the one where I went.
Your girl was ready.
She had asked me to join her for the trial, defend her side as the witness. I did research on elder abuse. I wrote down my notes just in case I would forget some.
We were allowed to bring notes, okay?
I got all prepared, picked out my outfits.
I was looking real professional, y'all. I was for real a lawyer that day because I did better than the actual lawyer. I was feeling motivated. Let's get this pilgrim.
When we got to the court,
I did my little businesswoman walk, you know?
it was a whole new experience.
Yeah, I'm about to win this case.
We're the victims here. The trial begins, waiting for my turn to speak. My grandmother was called to the stand. On the other side, it was dumbass Trump. He didn't speak at all. He had his lawyer speak for him. She didn't really speak much either.
Y'all got nothing on us.
I let my grandmother talk first. She explains the story. The judge asked if she has any witnesses. She said, yes, I have my granddaughter. Here, I raised my hand.
The judge could see me. I don't know why he smiled. He would smile at me like only me. Like, aren't you supposed to be serious at court?
I get called to the stand. There was a microphone in front of me too.
I felt badass, bro.
He's like,
Explain what happened.
explain what went down.
I made it clear that it was in fact elder abuse and that it counts as emotional / psychological abuse. Don't underestimate the granddaughter. This entity right there, he was sitting his fat ass down right there like, that's what you do all day besides talk out your ass.
While I was still in the stand,
His stupid lawyer had the audacity to ask,
me questions. She was like, did you bring notes with you today?
and I said yes. In my mind I was like, yeah bitch, is there a problem? And then she was like, no further questions. Did you just think you did something? Because you did not. She really thought she was doing something. Honey, go back to law school because you're trash at your job.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't a lawyer supposed to defend their client?
Asking irrelevant questions.
The judge had issued the restraining order to last for 3 more years.
3 more years, bitch.
We had won our case. Since I was there to speak for my family,
He lost the case.
there was money involved in this. Whoever had lost would have to pay $3.5 thousand. That was the expenses for the unnecessary lawyer.
Karma has its ways.
Not only does this dumbass have to pay over $3,000, but we get peace for another 3 years. We were all relieved.
Justice has been served. That's what you get for being racist and a lowlife and disrespectful. I was a real lawyer that day, for real.